there, and welcome to the show. There is already discontent amongst the purple team here. We are doing a relay race on BeamNG Drive. This is a split PI relay race. So you had 0.7 in terms of the power to weight ratio. You can see the figure down here. I think that's for Gliska's car. The blue team's SBR4 here. To spread over 3 vehicles, you could choose how you went to spread it. So Gliska's got 0.3, Ewan is very low, I think it's 0.1 something or other, and Speedbeast has got a fair amount. You complete a lap with your car, release the next one, and you know the winner from this goes on to the next round. You may have seen relay races before. If not, you're in for a treat. They're normally pretty hectic. Here we go. They are going to be released. They are off and underway. The other important thing for this to bear in mind is all the vehicles are rear-wheel drive, which, yeah, should be an interesting challenge here. This is a slightly shortened layout. Gliska, a little bit wide. Does quite a good job, though, through there. Bouncing the curbs. You've got to be a bit careful here. The curbs can be mean. Also, got to be a little bit careful with the drag strip. The drag strip can be mean as well. It's very, very grippy. Surface, so yeah, you do not want to grip roll your car or do that. Good save from Joe. Fair play. That is not... When cars start going sideways on Beam, it does tend to not go particularly well. Here comes Gliska around the corner with a mighty wing on the back of that. Joe's car bobbling a little bit over the curves, but nothing too much. Now, Gliska's car is faster in terms of power to weight. Oh, than Joe. Gliska has gone off the circuit on that one and has, I believe, slowed there to negate any advantage. Now, Ewan's car is slow, so we will expect purple team to come around the final corner. Gliska is going to hand over to Ewan. God, that is slow off the line. So there goes purple team. They have got front-wheel drive machine that is not particularly quick off of the line here. So Gliska and Joe are now parked up and out of the way. Oh, Ewan's gone very wide. Absol's gone even wider. Don't hit the milk. Okay, well done. Absol saved it. Now, one of the things you don't want is to get stuck behind another car. A slower car here. It's important for purple team to get clear of Ewan's terrible boat and not lose time through this section. Oh, Ewan with a big tank slapper going on. Absol has lost some time here, but is going to get to the inside, and Absol will take the lead of the race. But a little bit of time will have been lost there. Whether Ewan will have lost some time with an uncooperative car. Still looks uncooperative. Christ, that has... I mean, I can see it's got a lot of weight in the back of it. It's definitely been weighted up to make the power... Oh, Ewan's gone very deep into the corner there. There is some dubious track limits. I don't think Ewan lifted on that one either. There is a question mark. Team Blue do not know the chicane. They will hand over to Shadow. That's the final one. Here goes Ewan across the line. Will release Speedbeast's car that bogs a little bit but has now got going. Here is the question. Can Shadow... Oh, go far enough. Shadow's gone really wide into the first corner. Speedbeast has gone even wider, though. Actually, I think they both were about the same depth into that corner. Both in a lot of trouble here. I hear turbo sounds from Blue Team's car that does not look very comfortable to drive. Shadow has pulled an absolute lead here after that opening section. There is a little bit of sliding from the Cherrier, but all is good. Speedbeast's car does not look quite the most cooperative. Looks cool visually, doesn't look the most cooperative to drive, and if anything, Shadow is now pulling away. Shall we see if a blue team car can get through a chicane this time around? Barreling down towards the next corner. There goes Shadow. It's turned in nicely, is through the chicane nicely. Speedbeast has actually got turned and stopped for the chicane. Has bounced a little bit wide. Nothing too much, though, and over the curbs you go. However, yeah, Shadow really did have the speed here. It will be Shadow and the purple team that is across the line and claims a victory in this first heat. Well, I guess kind of technically semi-final. Speedbeast is across the line. Blue team had issues with chicane. Not the milk! Oh, you've hit the track marker. Shadow has been shortened a bit. Quite a bit. And yeah, there we go. Blue team are eliminated from this. A good first race, but yeah, by the looks of it, Speedbeast's car was difficult to drive, and Ewan's was just, yeah, quite a handful. So, the second of the, well, kind of semi-finals in this one, we have got Team Italy, as it turns out. Dangerman is driving the Scintilla, Amy is driving the Piccolina, and I'm in a Bolide, against, well, as we dubbed it, Team Nonsense, because it is quite funky. Shados has the, I've forgotten what it's called, the UTV thing. Stevie has a Bastion without a bonnet, and Longbow has a Scintilla with a truck engine shoved in the back, because why not? It's quite cool, though, to be fair. We're going for, I mean, not my normal strategy, not going to lie. However, could work. So we're sending out our fastest car first. Danger Man is at 0.36. It's the fastest car actually here, full stop. Up against the 0.2 that is Shadow's buggy. So Danger Man should lead this. But of course, the thing we've got to be, well, bear in mind, essentially, is that Amy is going next, is in the second slowest car in the field. Only Ewan's is lower in terms of power to weight ratio, and I'm going to be finishing my run with a 0.203 rated vehicle. Mine is very good in the corners. I will lack power, but the Bowline is a monster in the corners. Danger Man's car is difficult to drive. I've actually had a drive with it myself, and it is twitchy. So, as you can see, Danger Man is struggling with it, but it's pulling a lead, which is what we need here. We want Danger Man to pull a big lead, and with any luck, we will be able to go into the final round in a solid position here. Danger Man will get it slowed for the chicane. So purple team's not necessarily a bad idea doing this. So what's going on? So I'm going to tab back to my car because we know there's going to be a handover and I want my car on the grid. So purple team are making sure they're not battling with orange team, basically. They're sending their slowest car out first. There goes Danger Man across the line. Oh, Danger Man has binned it across the line, which isn't great, and Danger Man is now in an awkward place, but never mind. They have released Stevie with the Bastion. The question is, will the Bastion be able to catch Amy? Possibly. Amy's gone very, very deep into turn 1. That's not good news for us. That is not what we needed. Okay. I mean, it's not impossible that we can still do this. There might be a hell of a job for me to do in this final part. But Stevie has done well into the first corner, has got that car stopped and turned. It will be monstrously quick down the straights, of course. It is significantly more powerful than the Piccolina as we head through these first... Oh, Stevie with a big slide is a good save. As I said before, trying to catch the slides is not easy in this game at times. Under brakes we go. Stevie a little bit wide through here. The Bastion is closing. The Piccolina is holding on well here. It's against a 0. It's probably got about 0.05 more power to weight ratio in that Bastion than Amy has got. The changeover is coming soon. We have got to be ready for this. I'm not sure who's... It looks like Amy is going to come around the final quarter first. Maybe. It's going to be really close, though, as they head up towards the line. Here we go. It's going to be the drag race down towards the first corner, and I'm not great off the line. Longbow launches better with that huge weight over the back of the car. Longbow has launched to the lead of this. Oh, Longbow's wandered wide, though, through there. We know the Bowline is very grippy through these corners. Can I find a way past Longbow, though? Longbow will have more speed. Christ, Longbow's car is super loud in comparison to mine. I've definitely got more grip through here. Oh, I wanted to go to the inside. Couldn't do it. Still looking. Oh! We gave a bump because I was trying to carry more mid-quarter speed to Longbow. Longbow pulls away again. We're going to have to be brave through here. Longbow's struggling for grip at this point, but Longbow's going to possibly have to try and sort of defend down here. We're going to go for a cutback on the exit through this section. Here we go. Oh, it's going to be a drag race. Well, the final corner, I can take flat. I know I can take flat. Can Longbow take it flat? Longbow's got massive understeer. It's a drag race to the line, and I couldn't do it. I just could not find a way past. We had more speed, but I couldn't use it where I needed to, and a little lock up on the brakes. Yeah, I mean, I chucked it through the final corner. We did all that we could. But yeah, just could not find a way past. Very, very evenly matched teams. Slightly gutted that we just couldn't find a way past. If I could have launched a little bit better, but alas. Good run. Orange team are out. Purple team are through to the final. So it does appear that, well, purple is the superior colour for relay racing teams this evening. We have Joe, Absol and Shadow versus Shados, Stevie and Longbow. So it is 2 laps for each car. They must complete 2 laps each, which means they're going to have to deal with a very difficult and big braking zone down here on the second lap. What is the chances somebody gets it wrong? Relatively high. Oh dear. Things are a bit of a mess over here. Are they set? Well, they're going. They better be ready because we are going to set them on their way. Of course, going to be a little bit careful. There are cars lined up on the track, basically, when they come around for their second lap. But there we go. Joe has got off to a decent start down here and is going to lead the way for the first lap through here. A little bit of understeer. Probably going to be understeer from both of them. Oh, Joe. So the drag strip there is super grippy, which means if you put some steering lock on your car through there, grip roll is a real possibility. It's one of the concerns we had with Amy's Piccolina. It didn't happen, thankfully. But yeah, it is something you've got to be a little bit aware of. Joe's extending the lead, but with a big, a big switch. Joe's car does not look like the easiest thing in the world to drive. I'm not going to lie. That thing looks dicey around here as we barrel into the next corner. Shados has got some good mid-corner speed. CVT and that is whizzing away, as CVTs tend to do. Joe into the chicane. It is nicely done through there. Shados with a little bit of two-wheeled antics. Just a tiny bit through there. There's a good luck beep. Now, don't crash through this final corner. Beautiful corner, this one. Very, very quick as they head across the line. Don't crash into the other teams. There goes Shados. Now, the big challenge is the braking zone down into turn 1. Joe has done very well, actually. Got the car stopped. Shados, likewise. There's a lot of sort of wheel bounce from that. I've meant to check. I've just completely slipped my mind. The buggy UTV thing, Polaris or whatever, is, yeah, hopping around. I can hear the SBR4 from miles around the track. Oh, Joe's had a big moment. That's in the gravel track. That's twice now through that section. The SBR4 has tried to kill Joe. I mean, this is looking good for, I was going to say for purple team, but they're both bloody purple teams. Shados' team is looking quite strong for here. Joe may have got a little bit upset over the curb through that section. Again, no real issues for the buggy. It has just behaved itself. Joe's car is going to cross over with the lead, but, oh, it has been dangerous. And again, pretty sure Joe, I was about to go and whiz forward, and Shados then almost fell over. That's the first issue for the buggy through all of this. We head round the final corner, and that is going to hand over to Absol. Now, Absol struggles off the line. Front-wheel drive car does not really get going, but we know the Super Touring vehicle is pretty fast. So, there we go. Stevie's been released. Absol has been released into the first turn. Beautiful piece now. The SBR4 has stopped running. Stevie has got to... careful with the grip. Less likely to grip roll in a Bastion going across the drag strip in all of that. Stevie's going to have to try and close the gap to Absol. Now, Longbow's vehicle is, in theory, a little faster than Shadow's vehicle. There we go. I'll get there in the end. However, that all being said... it's difficult around this track. It's difficult to make up a huge amount of time. There's a lot of bravery involved. And Lombow's car is Lombow's vehicle is almost better at defending because it's so fast down the straights. However, it looks like Lombow's going to have to be catching. Absol with a good lap so far. No major problems for that. The gaps remained similar. Stevie is sliding around in the Bastion there. And I think, you know, the Bastion... I love a Bastion, do not get me wrong. It is one of my favourite vehicles in Beam. However, it is probably not great for this. Necessarily, it's very heavy is the downside. Oh, Stevie's locked it. Stevie has visited the scenery. We knew it was always going to be a potential hazard down there. Getting your brakes locked into the first corner is a big problem, or just outbraking yourself. You're going very, very fast, and that is one of the downsides of the Bastion, being such a heavy car. The Super Touring Pazima here is... well, depending on how it's built and what parts and so on, can be less than 1,000 kilos. The Bastion will struggle to be less than about 1,800. So, yeah, they are very, very, very heavy cars. Powerful, but, yeah, a heavy vehicle. So, Absol is going to round the final corner now. Of course, it does rely on Shadow not making a mistake here. And as we've seen, it is easy to make mistakes in this. So there goes the handover to the front-wheel drive Chariot there, I believe, as we blast towards this first chicane, and it will be neatly done for the car. Where is Longbow? Just been released now. So this is a big gap that Longbow needs to catch up. Now, Longbow's vehicle is awesome. I cannot argue with that. Longbow's vehicle is awesome with the truck engine shoved in there. It's not the easiest thing in the world to drive. It's probably not the vehicle you want to be having to do super, super aggressive laps with, because it is going to be a difficult one to drive. As you can see, Longbow's sliding their way up the hill. Shadow just has to keep things clean at the end of the day. That's what Shadow has to do here to take a victory. Nothing silly, no mistakes. I mean, they've got two front-wheel drive touring cars on their team. That got very bouncy over the curb. Did not like that section in the slightest. The rear end kind of wanting to step out a little bit here. Now, Shadow surely will be careful down into the first section here. There's no reason to be crazy aggressive, no reason to get in trouble. And Shadow was sensible through that section. Longbow. Oh, big wreck. Longbow has lost a wheel, possibly two. Yeah, Longbow with a big wreck. You've got to do something. You've got to try. You've got to push at the end of this. And unfortunately for the green and purple team, it has just not gone their way. It has just not quite gone their way in all of this. I think the Bastion being maybe that little bit more difficult to drive than they would have liked. And yeah, the Scintilla is wild, and it is very difficult to pass that Scintilla. However, when it's got to try and catch, it becomes a very difficult beast to keep under control. The touring cars were the way to go. By the looks of it, Shadow is going to head round the final corner. It's going to be a victory, and a convincing victory for the, well, pink and purple and that combination of teams. Shadow, Absol, and Joe will take a victory in the knockout tournament style, the slightly more sensible style of racing. Unlucky for the purple and green team in this one. Just a couple of little errors and just, yeah, kind of fell apart a little bit in this round. But it is still second place. You know, they beat us in the sort of heat. However, we can't leave it here, though. Of course not. We could not be leaving this here. So, as a celebration, there'll be a big crash. We're going to go and do something rather silly. For the final round, we have got all four of the teams running together. This is going to be very chaotic. So, for being victors, Joe, Absol, and Shadow are going to start from the pit lane, which is, because the track's not wide enough, it's a slightly more difficult run into the first corner. Not by a huge amount, but it is a touch more difficult. We are going for a slightly different strategy. What I will say is we're still running 2 laps for every car. So everyone is going to have to deal with the difficult braking zone down into the first corner on their first flying lap. Amy with a great start here. Joe's got out of the pit nicely. Speedbeast is going to lead the way down towards the first corner. So yeah, this is a difficult braking zone. Oh, Amy has absolutely murdered Shados into turn 1. They went over the wheels, and, well, it's going to be difficult for Shados and Amy. Now, part of the strategy, part of the plan here was going to be we would have the Piccolina, that's the technically slowest car in this group, run around on its own, or run around towards the back, meaning that when it gets handed over to me, I have a clean track, I can go full attack with a quick car, and Danger Man can finish off and maybe overtake vehicles. Joe's going to send it to the outside. Great pass attempt if Joe can gather it. Can't quite make it stick. Really, really good effort from Joe there. Of course, this is maybe costing the SBR4 a little bit of time. It was costing both of them some time because they're battling. Speedbeast deep under brakes into the chicane. Does get it stopped. Joe's going to look for a way around the outside. It's difficult to overtake cars around here. Joe might get it done, though. Although it's on the outside for the final corner. Not the line you want to be taking. They sort it out. Amy still leads Shados, but only just here as we run down towards... Oh, Speedbeast dipped a wheel over the dirt there. Now, big braking zone. This is the toughest test for these cars. Speedbeast gets it stopped. Joe has got it stopped. Runs a little bit wide, but actually no, does a very good job of keeping that under control. Amy is still battling away with Shados. Now, what I have got to do is shuffle my car forward a little bit because, you know, we are going to get handed over to shortly. Speedbeast still leads the way. We've got 2 battles going on here, which kind of makes sense. Speedbeast and Joe the fastest cars, although we're just hoping that Amy was going to be closer to this lead battle because it gives me a lot of work to do. Speedbeast is going to hand over to Ewan, who has the slowest car in the field. Joe is again looking for that outside pass. Can't make it work, and this time is even wider through there. I mean, if Amy stays ahead of Shados, that's good news for us. I have 1 less car to overtake, and, you know, we will try and hunt down... I don't know if it's Absol that's going next for the purple team here. Speedbeast out a little bit wide over the curb. Everything is fine with that one. Right, we are going to have to get ready. Actually, no, we're not racing Ewan. Ewan's going last. Gliska goes next. We won't catch that. That's fine. They're going to hand over to Absol. We might be able to catch Absol. We'll have to wait and see. Longbow is behind me. That's not the car I wanted to see, particularly because when we saw what happened last time when we had Longbow around, this time we are at least off and underway, and we are going to be clear. Now, just don't do anything stupid is going to be the trick here. If I can gain on Gliska and Absol, I mean, we want to get as close as possible, right? If we can catch Absol, that would be brilliant. We can hand over. We have, technically speaking, got the fastest car to finish this race with. We have the fastest car, highest power to weight ratio in our final car, but Danger Man's car is unbelievably difficult to drive. So Danger Man is going to have some really serious work to be doing here. I think we're having a good lap. We're having a good run here. Now, just don't lock the wheels up too much into the slow chicane here. Neatly through there. Don't spin the wheels, of course. I've only got 230 horsepower. This is a relatively low power bolide with the full Group 5 aero, the full Group 5 tyres and the like. We are through past the waiting cars. I think we are gaining... Oh, don't lock the wheels. Okay, it's nice. It's good under brakes down there. It's difficult. I want to go absolutely nuts in terms of pushing and driving as fast as I can, but I know... Okay, we pulled clear a Longbow. I don't think Stevie's going to be able to do a huge amount with that Bastion in these closing stages. Right. Oh, don't go too wide through there. We are... Absol's... Super Touring Pazima is pretty rapid. No mistakes from me this time. I mean, the gap to Absol has remained very, very similar, although I think Absol may have gone a little bit wide. Under brakes down here. Don't do anything silly. Okay, we have gained a tiny bit on Absol this lap. Not as much as I would have wanted. We've pulled away from Longbow. That is good. It's going to fall to Danger Man. So Ewan has got a hell of a job here. Because, yeah, we will release... I'm going to try and not wipe out Shadow. So Ewan is not going to last 2 laps, I don't think, with that lead, but we'll try. We'll see what Danger Man can do. This is shaping up to be really interesting here. So, there goes Ewan. There goes Shadow. That is the gaps. Longbow has handed over to Stevie, and I think it's just too much of an ask here for Stevie. Maybe Stevie can catch Ewan, though, because we know Ewan's car is difficult. The question will be how much time is Shadow going to lose behind Ewan? If Shadow clears Ewan quickly... I think Pink Team are in a good point. If Shadow doesn't pass Ewan quickly, maybe Danger Man can profit. If it was 1 lap, Ewan might be in a good position here. Shadow's going to go to the inside. It's a good spot to try this, as Shadow will get the pass completed on Ewan here. There is Danger Man with the Scintilla. I'm just not sure the Scintilla's got the composure around this very twisty circuit. Shadow's got to the front in this. Can Ewan stay ahead of the Scintilla? I mean, can Shadow get through without making a mistake? If there's any mistakes from Shadow, that would be helpful for us. But no, the touring car is stopped and turned. Here comes the Scintilla. It's the wobbliest of 800 series, and Danger Man is through as we go up the hill. Ewan's trying to fight back, can't do it. Okay, Danger Man is clear. I think the gap to Shadow has remained pretty stable. I mean, Danger Man's sort of closes up so much down the straights, but just then can't necessarily utilise. I mean, there had to be some weight, additional weight to the box on the roof to try and get the power to weight ratio the right way. Danger Man is closing a little bit around this lap. You know, Danger Man is closer than last time around, is absolutely sending it, does a hell of a job to keep it under control through there, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Shadow just has to play it safely through all of this, and does as we head towards the final corner. Shadow, as long as they don't get out of shape, is a bit of a slide. Shadow is going to claim victory number 2. Danger Man gets 2nd. A little bit of redemption for Orange Team. 3rd goes to Ewan. Held on. I mean, I think that was about as good as they could get, really, from that one. Really. Ewan's car is just really quite slow and into the milk. That poor milk. And then, yeah, Steve, something I think may have happened to Longbow on their run. There may have been a mistake. It did seem to fall back a fair bit. Stevie will cross the line with the Bastion. It was... Oh, jeez. That was a big hit. Poor Ewan. Yeah, that was... It was a good relay. It wasn't too chaotic. Outside of... Had we not had the accident at turn 1 between Shados and Amy... Could we have done it? Maybe. It would have been a lot closer. Although I may have found myself in more traffic. who knows? Who knows on that one? Yeah, the bowline, I like this low power, high grip bowline. It was fun. It was nice to drive around here. Had confidence in pushing it, but I just couldn't make up the time needed to get closer to Absol to do anything to dethrone them. So Shadow, Absol, and Joe will win not only the main event, but the sillier round, the slightly more chaotic round as well. Turns out 2 touring cars and an SBR4 was the way to go. Team Italy was decent, just not quite fast enough. That, though, is going to be it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.